Welcome to the weekly Wednesday ColtsFanCole show. I am your host, ColtsFanCole, and in the great words of Jim Irsay, I'm real fired up to be here because no more speculation, no more, hopefully, gambling suspensions, no more, hopefully, shitty alternate jerseys, no more what ifs. It's finally time your Indianapolis Colts are on the football field in front of fans. Shout out to all the fans who took pictures with the players, took some quick videos. I know there's certain rules prohibiting a lot of video capture there, but great content coming from reporters we love, reporters we don't love, and of course, you, the fans who are in attendance. Couldn't make it today, hoping to go in a few weeks. Busy schedule for me, so thanks for bearing with me off a few weeks. Hope you had a chance to listen to the Cole Coleman interview. I moved, so setting up the office completely. Hopefully we'll get a video about that, showing off all my cool items in my office soon. Again, the format of the show, first 20 minutes are going to be me kind of setting the floor for topics. I go into one-on-one discussions, and then the reason a lot of people come to Twitter Spaces, the group discussion. So bear with me for the first 20 minutes or so, and we'll talk about some news, and we go in reverse chronological order, so most recent news now, and put it at the top of the list, flip the script, because Jim Irsay tweeted about the running back market as a whole. So I love Jim Irsay. I actually put in the Jim Irsay quote to start the show before he tweeted this, and I still love him. You got to take the candid Irsay, good candid Irsay with bad candid Irsay. Not great to tweet about the running back market as a whole, honestly, when you're in contract negotiations with arguably the best player on your team. Probably not arguably, definitely the best player on your team. And Jonathan Taylor is hot. I got at Greg Doyle for doing psychoanalysts because that's just what I do, go at him. But he's a little bit right because, Taylor didn't seem happy at the end of the presser for OTAs. Talked a lot about his contract, obviously. Famous getting a lot of NFL Network, ESPN headlines between, Eckler, Barkley, Josh Jacobs in Las Vegas, and of course Jonathan Taylor, who is in the last year of his rookie deal. So worst case scenario, he will play this year. Like, he's not going to forego a year of salary, because then that would delay the whole process for him. The key thing is tag him next year. So a deal would get done, and surprise, hasn't come to fruition. For whatever reason, they're just too far apart. Barkley took $11 million. I think Taylor's probably worth, fair market value, 13, 14 million. And I bet the Colts aren't budging from that at all. So it's going to be who blinks first. And I don't think it's going to be the Colts, especially after Jim Irsay's tweet. So, but again, Jim Irsay, the candidness, take it or leave it with part of being a fan. I'll take it 10 times out of 10, mostly because most of the time he's right. And I don't think he's wrong here. I do think it's a lot of by, the agents getting them all together, getting them all pissed off, somewhat for the right reasons, but it's just a rock and a hard place. And you got to do some other tactic than kind of force yourselves to be the villain. Like, the way mind athletes overcome that, especially at a certain position, is by, being the likable, being a can't miss guy in the locker room, being a likable guy to the fans, being a likable guy to your team. And I think he's doing all that, but there's just, for whatever reason, a big push to stain these guys' efforts. Getting the contract, and what you think about it, and there's, other positions who are, well, I mean, you're not going to get special treatment just because, you get hit more times than me. You could argue head hits linemen's far and away for one that should be compensated, and definitely medical's future, but I digress. I'm a little pessimistic a deal gets done before the season. Ballard did say, too, in his presser, I think it was yesterday, that they have done in-season contracts before, of course, Grover Stewart, and that it's up to the coaching staff. We've had that discussion on these shows before, too, that, before they invest a lot into Pittman and a lot into Taylor, get him familiar with the coaching staff. So who knows if that's part of it. He did report, though, he's here, put on the physically unable to perform list. So we'll see how that shapes out. Again, I hope a deal gets done. I also hope it's not over $15 million. The cap's the cap. The market sucks. Like, it just is one of those things that sucks. This isn't, 2000 anymore. Running backs aren't getting a ton of money, and very replaceable. And it's a tough reality. I think Jonathan Taylor's worth it. I think he's especially worth it. Anything under $14 million a year for 4 years, for sure. I would do that tomorrow. The Colts obviously know they could probably get away with, are trying to get away with doing a little less, 12, 13 range, given that Barkley just made 11. Obviously, Barkley off an ACL tear too, but we'll see. So, again, he did not talk to the media today. He's not going to, while on the physically unable to perform list. I had a sweet sip of that Miller Lite. On to the other physically unable to perform players, Tyquan Lewis. So he's a vet, obviously can't catch a break with injuries, but from his last injury, and we're hoping he gets better soon. But we'll see how that goes. I expect him to be on it probably longer than the other player on the physically unable to perform list, which is Will Mallory. And it was said Mallory's expected to come off pretty soon. So he did have good flashes in rookie minicamp from what Ballard said. A lot of other people said as well. And that interesting tight end group. Again, keep mentioning Ballard, but honestly, his voice mostly matters in the preseason press conferences. Him and Steichen more. Other injuries, Julian Blackmon and Juju Brents were both out today with hamstrings. I can sympathize. I pulled my hamstring on Saturday running a go route. Burned my buddy for sure. Throw was short, so couldn't gloat about it too much. But yeah, pulled the hamstring. It hurts. I mean, when you try and move laterally, do anything explosive, it's impossible. So tough to see that from them. But again, expect him back soon. Juju needs to get out there. Juju needs to get some reps. So we're hoping he does that soon. Great news for all the contract dispute / injury talk. Shaquille Leonard, very active in practice. Unexpected, passed his physical, I think it was a day or two ago now. And then he did all the drills. He did some team drills too. Faster than expected. A lot of people were chirping about him being cleared and not mattering. Again, physical contact's a different thing. Keep referencing Ballard, but again, I think his points matter most in any preseason look into the glass of what's to come. So I don't expect him to play any preseason or anything like that. Maybe a game if he's feeling up to it, but I would say don't do that. Just contact him and practice like the week before, dude. He's an animal. He takes our defense from good to great. He is a turnover machine. There's nobody like him in the league. Off-ball linebacker, rare off-ball linebacker who got paid a ton. So we're hoping he comes back, and I think he'll live up to the contract. I really do. I think he's unlike any defender we've had since Bob Sanders, that type of playmaking ability on defense. Right guard, Will Fries took most of the reps. So the offensive line was Raymond, Nelson, Kelly, Fries, Smith. And then I think the only two tackles were Freeland, and there was one other tackle who got, I think, a few reps with the ones blanking. I'm sure we'll look at it here soon. So that was a big question mark. But Fries is the starting right guard as of now. We'll see. The Alabama rookie coming up, and the waiver wire of training camp. There's going to be so many guys I'm going to have to tweet about what their fringe background history is, like I did for Al-Qaid Muhammad. But we won't get there yet because we go in reverse chronological order. A couple minutes more, and then we'll get to some one-on-one discussions. So keep in mind any of these topics I have or bring up any topics you want to, and then after one-on-one discussions, we go to group discussion. So thanks for sticking around for my monologue here. Gardner Minshew being quarterback too. So he was mostly with the ones today. I didn't see a percent breakdown, but it sounded more than usual. Didn't do overly well.